Well, let's talk about this story because this has really become a toxic story. Tennessee's star quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, left school the day before spring football. He and his handlers and his father went to Tennessee and demanded his NIL money be upgraded, like doubled. And Tennessee's coach Josh Heupel said no. And the young man said, if you cannot take care of me financially, I'm going to exit. At which point, Josh Heupel said, relationship over. Mm-hmm. No one person, player nor coach, is bigger than this program. Gone. And it spread like an oil fire. All of a sudden, this kid started making phone calls. He thought he was going to Oregon. Dan Lanning said, no, I have all my quarterbacks here. He thought he was going to USC. Lincoln Riley said, no, we're not interested at this point. He tried to make contact at North Carolina, where Bill Belichick said, no, we're not taking on this situation, this kid demanding an enormous amount of money. He had the balls to call Notre Dame. Notre Dame did not even return the phone call.
Wow.
He tried to talk to Sarkisian at Texas. Reputation precedes his kid in the front door. And suddenly everybody around college football is of the opinion he has no market and he's not going to get the kind of money he was going to get at the University of Tennessee. And the kid has really damaged himself. Last night, it was reported that UCLA is talking to him. And UCLA, which has got its own set of problems under Deshaun Foster, with so many coaches being fired 9 months into their first year with that UCLA coach and UCLA losing players, UCLA may take him, but he's not going to get the kind of money because he's a California kid who's now bouncing back coming from home. But I mean, this is quite a story that Tennessee lets their star freshman quarterback walk away. The coach told him, that is the door. If you go into the portal, you're not part of this program. And then all these other named coaches around the country almost expressing the same opinion. We're not touching the situation with the demand, holding out for more money, going back on his word in a signed contract. This is quite a story. So some people of the opinion what Tennessee did was right to try to get some control back under this out of control NIL situation. So we got that story. Colorado, we've talked extensively about Dion. Talked about Shedeur. Get this. Colorado tomorrow is holding its spring football workout. They're retiring Shedeur Sanders' number as well as the number of
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, their Heisman Trophy winning cornerback. It begs the question, what the hell did Colorado win in the 2 years that Shedeur was there? Did he set passing records? Yeah, but they threw the ball on every down. Did they win any? Did they get ranked? You're going to retire his number after 2 years compared to what Cordell Stewart and Darian Hagan did back in the day under Bill McCartney and other coaches when Colorado won the Big 12 and Colorado went to major bowl games? There's been some backlash at Dion. He's retiring his kid's number after 2 years. That's kind of offended some people. And then there's North Carolina. And we've talked about the 72-year-old coach dating a 24-year-old woman, and his partner is on the practice field with him every day.
Awesome.
His partner has become his CEO of his media empire, and his partner, Jordan is her first name, is evidently clashing with the university about content on different websites. And Belichick has taken a lot of heat, taken a lot of hits, because Belichick is kind of old school, and Belichick has gone into the transfer portal and said, I'm not paying this amount of money to you to be my left tackle or you to be my quarterback. He's kind of aghast at what the landscape of the NCAA has become. So he's taken a lot of heat from alums and fans on social media, including some of the university's websites. So his partner is raising hell with the university about not controlling what's out there on social media. Well, how does North Carolina be able to control what a student body was? So this is really, really bizarre. Really sad story at LSU. Wide receiver, Caden Lacey, was involved in a hit and run fatality accident in Louisiana a couple of months ago, was charged with vehicular homicide, was involved in a domestic abuse case with a gun, and his girlfriend this past weekend fired a gun in that direction of that woman, fled as police arrived, police chase, crashed his car. As police were coming to get him out of the car, pulled a gun, shot himself in the head. Kid has obviously had severe mental health problems, just a terrible tragedy. I think the thing that's really bothersome to me is here is Brian Kelly, the coach at LSU. You know, thoughts and prayers to his family. You knew this kid had all these kind of problems, and yet you let him play and never helped him at all. And this kid was involved in this junk off the field with the death of a 78-year-old man in a speeding incident, and now the second incident involving domestic abuse, and a kid took his own life. You know, Brian Kelly's got a responsibility. They're with these players every minute of every day. They knew who has it together. They know who's got problems. He did nothing for this kid. And it's the second time there's been an incident with a player that Brian Kelly's had where this coach has not reached out to try to help this player. So it's a really sad story at LSU. Really wretched story at Kent State in the Mid-American Conference. They fire their coach, Kenny Burns, not because he was just 1-23 in 2 years. He was the one that replaced Sean Lewis, who left to go to Colorado, now the Aztecs coach. Kenny Burns got bad product on the field and lost a lot of players, etc. Kenny Burns ran up $23,000 in debt on a private university credit card and refused to pay it. The bank in Kent, Ohio, sued the coach and the university over lack of payment. And this thing had really gotten ugly. He finally paid it. They found out, though, what he was using the money for, $23,000. He ran up in debts off the field, non-football stuff, didn't pay it off the credit card bill, so he got fired. That's an utter disaster there. And Oklahoma, get this, in the first 2 days of the transfer portal opening this week, Wednesday and Thursday, 6,200 players in the transfer portal in college football. 6,200. Yes.
Holy crap.
That's right. There are other adjectives that are being used besides that. Anyhow, Oklahoma just wound up with a top running back that's fired into the portal. Jaden Ott, star running back, Cal Golden Bears, kind of a one-man gang in a tough football program in what's left of the Pac-12. He had 3,200 yards, 31 touchdowns in 2.5 seasons. He's the first big name who has transferred. Jaden Ott has gone to Oklahoma. John, I know you got opinions. You're just waiting to just jump on Tennessee or retired numbers or Belichick and the Babe or Brian Kelly, the mess at Kent State or Oklahoma. Go ahead. The podium is yours.
There's a lot there, you know. So
damn right there is.
Yeah, damn right. So just a couple of quick ones. The Tennessee quarterback situation is interesting because the transfer portal has been the wild, wild west, you know, and anything goes. And now the players are starting to see that there are limits to the leverage that they have. And this is good. It's a little bit of a pushback, a little bit of a self-regulation here. And I applaud some of those coaches for not taking him on, knowing how he left, you know, his Tennessee in the lurch right before spring ball. I mean, to me, it's good to see that. Quickly, the others, Colorado, good on them for retiring numbers. I mean, Colorado's been in the dumps forever, but even if you go back to like Rashad Salam, they had a nice run there with him. But, I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, it's nepotism, but it's Coach Prime, and I like what Coach Prime does. And the North Carolina thing with Bill Belichick, it sounds like Yoko Ono and the Beatles or something, it's kind of intruding on business that she shouldn't be intruding on.
She's walking on the sidelines in spring football in a mini skirt and high leather boots on a cell phone while Belichick's coaching. It's just a strange look.
Well, it's a shiny object, right? It's going to be a distraction, especially for those young men on the field. So, but I don't know. You got to say right on Bill Belichick is, I mean, he's Bill Belichick, man. What do they call him? Big Boss Man in that one commercial, and then the LSU story is just really sad,
yep.
And I remember seeing how he obviously made some big mistakes in his life, and then to take his own life. I mean, yeah, there needs to be more help there, but you got to think as a coaching staff, keeping track, they have like 100, maybe more than 100, students or athletes on the team.
Yeah, but who's an honor student. Who came from a bad background. Who's having mental health problems, you need to reach out. And his coaching staff is not a head coach and 4 assistants. You know, these guys got 18 assistants and player personnel people and counselors. I mean, this is just terrible tragedy. And this has happened again and again to players who have been in Brian Kelly's program.
Yeah. It's just strange. And then, finally, the Kent State thing, $23,000 on credit card fees. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, but if he's spending this on personal stuff, then why wouldn't he just pay it? Is he denying that the charges were legit?
No,
or
he finally did pay it.
Or is he arguing that the university needs to cover it, even if it's his own credit card for personal travel or something?
14 to 16 months in the rear. He wasn't paying it, and they kept getting notifications, and the university told him to pay it. He never paid it. And they finally paid it, and they fired him. I think there's a lot more deeper stuff as to where this money went and what he spent it on. But at the end of the day, he's done. And they were 1-23. What a disaster that is.
It is. You hate to see a guy go out that way, but college coaches are like, surrogate fathers for a lot of these players. They got to be, presenting a good role model, right? And this guy's clearly failed.
Okay, all things, that's college football. You got an opinion about the Tennessee situation? Has Nico become the poster boy for everything that's wrong in college athletics right now, vis-a-vis the NIL and the transfer portal? How about that? And if you're a UCLA fan, all these other marquee name coaches won't touch this guy. He's toxic. And UCLA is going to add him to their football program. Is there anybody who's a UCLA fan, friend, alum got a problem with that?
They need help.
That's why the Fans Forum chat box is there. Express an opinion on some of the hot topics that we're putting on the table. Last segment.